So, in previous class we have studied about the Cold War. Had been explained about what do you mean by the Cold War. It's very clear off between the two blocks of countries, USA and USSR. We also understood two blocks of major powerful countries, superior powerful countries in the world, USA and USSR. So proxy war also just same as the Cold War, but in Cold War 20% of the lives of women lives of the people were lost. We know that mainly the European countries which were either of the blocks. And in proxy war is a sphere of influence of the Cold War. Sphere of influence means that means what will happen in future. Maybe any war may come. See, if any dispute or conflict going in between two countries means normally general people think that third world war may going to come. Just that is the imagination of the common human being. In the same way, so this is a proxy war of sphere of influence of two rival groups. What are the two rival groups of the here? The USA and USSR. So in between two rivalry groups, that is the influence occurred due to the sphere. Sphere means, see, there is a spreading, just spreading like a spring. Sphere of influence. Influence of USA and USSR. Here, so supporting of two opposing sides. See, most of the independent countries have the scare. Here, if they support to either of the rivalry group, if they support to the USA, that is getting scared from the USSR. If you support to USSR, getting scared from the USA. So that is there is no understanding in between two rivalry groups. That's why the most of the independent countries, they are just getting scared to supporting of opposing sides of the both rivalry groups. At the same time, Harry Truman in this proxy war, so here the most of the countries started armed race. Armed race means to increase its armed weapons, so arsenals like that. Here Harry Truman, I already said who was Harry Truman, President of USA. President of USA, Harry Truman, what does he said? So it did, so starting that who are against the communism. Means this USA was support for the democratic. USA was supported for democratic, USSR was supporting of the communism. So who are against democracy, who are against the communism means anti-communist. So this USA is trying to support for the anti-communist countries, that means so they supported to get the freedom of Turkey, Greece, Congo, got independence in 1960 with the help of Harry Truman, means with the help of USA, because these are the anti-communist, doesn't like the communism, means supporting for the democracy. So next, even the Angola also, Angola and Portugal also got independence in 1975. See, when they just influenced this Angola to get freedom of by the USA, at the same time USSR also influenced this Angola to just spread the communalism. But finally Angola got under the leadership of this USA's independence, even the Portugal in 1975. And the Fidel Castro is a main leader in Latin America. You all know what is the Latin America. Latin America is a part of the country in America, means it's not separated from America, but at the time of slave trading by the Europeans, so some part of the America also, some colonies, 13 colonies of America also ruled by these European powers. So for the slave, means for the slaves or slave trading, for doing a farming work, so these Europeans used to get the slaves from the Africa to America. So these all the slaves brought from Africa to America and they settled there. And even some of the Native Americans also, they suppressed the Native Americans also under their control, and that was formed as a Latin America. So for that the Fidel Castro was the leader of Latin America and revolt against the USA, original USA, to build socialist of the USSR. So he was influenced by the USSR. He tried to just revolt against the USA. In the same time, Che Guevara also popular leader of Latin America, who was killed because he was also just tried to take support from the USSR as follow the communalism. And China want to be not to associate with the USSR, means just support you as a democracy. But this was the dislike, and China doesn't want to be associated with USSR any other, it want to be aligned, separate. But in 1971, USSR invaded Afghanistan. USSR, Russia invaded Afghanistan to make the friendly relationship. Why? Because so USA enters here to convince these Afghanistan. That's why USSR invaded in 1971 and Afghanistan to make the friendly relationship with the Afghanistan. But at the same time, USA also supported army rebels. Army rebels means just extreme religious extremists. Army rebels means religious extremists belongs to the Afghanistan. So when this USSR invaded to make friendship with Afghanistan, at the same time USA also started supporting to the other. These rebels are against this opposite people in Afghanistan. Why? Because they are rebels. So religious extremists, just call as the Talibans, just like terrorists. So here they supported this, but when they supported USA, but now it is opposite, because the investigation conflicts we learn that these Talibans only attacked the World Trade Center belongs to USA. So you all know about Bin Laden, Taliban leader who was killed. Okay, so next the military alliances. Alliances means groups. So here the main major powers USA and USSR, they started the alliance with the military power. That means the possession of nuclear weapons, gathering and procurement of the nuclear weapons. You know that USA and USSR gathered the weapons, and they have the weapons to just smash whole globe also, whole earth also. Means those much of these weapons were gathered by this USA and USSR. Means they are armed race to gather the weapons arsenals. So at the same time, to control these weapons and armed race, they formed the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization in 1949 to reduce the arsenals and weapons, and Warsaw Pact of Poland to counter the communist nation, and CETO. These all the military alliances was formed. Because see, if USSR is just number one in armed race and expending more amount to increase its armed and weapons, means then USA also influence that, and it also starts the doing that. In the same way, that is alliances was formed. CENTO, Central Treaty Organization, and also that is these all strengthen the creating of military blocks. Means each block, USA block and USSR blocks, was strengthening themselves by gathering the more military and expending more money on the military. Just they are thinking that if they have the more military and arsenals, that is a strong nation. So that to be means to show that their superiority in the world. And main superpowers this gain that. So mainly with this they gain some of the powers in the world. Means they are superpowers. See, some of the small nations, what they will do, they will just scare and hear of the words of the superpowers, and we will think that America is a superpower now in the world, and we listen that American words. But here see, the superiority just gained by the superpowers to say and to treat and to be just train the other countries in the world. How do they gain from the other small nations? By showing its superiority. By that oil resources, controlling of oil resources, markets, investments, to launch military troops and to gain economic support. So with these, when the superpowers become the superpowers in the world, just by the superiority, by this power, they gain some of the other powers on other countries. So next topic we will go in the next class.